You do know that when people say that clowns are scary, we're not asking for confirmation, right? Look, we have It, we have Clown, we have American Horror Story, we even have alien clowns. Okay, we get it. Clowns are abominations from hell and should be avoided at all costs.
Clones aren't scary, they're just different.
Oh, really? Say that after meeting this guy. In 2013, we got All Hallows Eve, a horror anthology movie with all the shorts linked, in one way or another, to a murderous clown named Art. While it wasn't exactly a huge thing, people agreed that Art was pretty cool. So, in 2016, he got his own movie, Terrifier. It was gory, disturbing, and messed up. Of course, it got a sequel. And it was gory, disturbing, and messed up. But does it live up to the original, or is this the first symptom of a case of sequelitis? That's the subject of today's session. Now, dissecting this movie might be a bit of a challenge, since it used more buckets of blood than the Saw franchise, but screw it, I'll do my best. I'm Dr. Midnight, let's dissect Terrifier 2. We start right where Terrifier ended, with Art coming back to life and killing the coroner. Not even 5 minutes in and I already have to mind the censorship? Oh, this is going to be fun. Art kills him in his usual style. That is to say, as brutally as possible. This involves a beat with a hammer and taking out the coroner's eyeball, placing it over the eye Art lost. Well, it's not like this guy will be needing it anymore. Yeah, if you thought the last movie was gory, well, let's just say that the sequel is like someone picked the most messed up parts of all Stephen King's novels, mixed them with the gore of Hostel, and sprinkled it with a dose of Hellraiser just for good measure. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing. Hey, it is the third movie we have with Art. By now you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. Being a medical location is the equivalent of being a store giving out free candy, so Art decides to take some new toys for himself. As you can see, David Howard Thornton, if I'm butchering your name, I'm so sorry, continues to be amazing as Art. I don't know, it's like he's having the time of his life in every scene he's in. And when he needs to look creepy, well, more than the makeup already does for him, it is chilling. I appreciate that Art knows that being a murderous, insane, and apparently mortal clown is no excuse for walking around in dirty clothes. He takes this time to relax, laugh at some hilarious news, and. Hello, who are you? I swear, the first time watching this, I thought she was just some random kid, but we soon see this isn't the case. I guess someone just became a young lady? Alright, so the fanbase seems divided when it comes to this character. Some people think that she's cool and a nice addition to the growing lore of Terrifier, others think she's unnecessary. I understand both arguments, but I still lean more towards the second case. Yes, it is implied that she's the demon granting Art his immortality, but overall, she's still pretty pointless. Her design is trying too hard to be disturbing, and besides making a phone call and haunting the few people who can see her, she does almost nothing for the story as a whole. Do you remember those dream demons that appeared in A Nightmare on Elm Street as a literal last time explanation for Fred's powers? Same thing. We then jump to 1 year later and meet our protagonists, Sienna and her younger brother, Jonathan. It's almost Halloween and Sienna is making her own costume. You know, I like her already. While Jonathan wants to dress up as Art, who is now famous due to his killing spree in the last movie. Okay, kid, that's like dressing up as Ted Bundy for Halloween. Someone's going to punch you on principle.
I think you're both overreacting.
I won't like this boy, will I?
Did you know the Nazis used to inject children's eyeballs to see if they would change color?
Oh, Jonathan, trying to be edgy won't make Susie from your class notice you. Sienna knows there's a difference between liking to learn about such things and, well, whatever Jonathan is doing. However, their mother, Barbara, dismisses Joe's concerns despite how disgusted she was earlier. Jonathan is going through a phase. Their father killed himself a year ago. The whole blah blah blah. I want to hear that when you find a cat's head in his drawer.
You don't see me crying out for attention. You keep everything bottled up.
Okay, some scenes do feel as if they have exposition time plastered all over them. But it's not to the point of making you roll your eyes in exasperation. We've certainly seen worse. Much, much worse.
You think that guy's still out there? They never found his body. What if he decides to come back here?
Weren't you bitching and yapping about how much you wanted to dress up as Art? Look, you're either scared of him or fascinated by him. I don't mind either one, but make up your mind, will ya? You talk about him so much, there's no wonder Sienna ends up dreaming about him.
Drop on by the Clown Cafe, your favorite meals on wheels.
People seem to either love or hate this scene. Personally, I love it. Maybe it goes on for a little too long, but trust me, that is nothing compared to what's waiting for us down the lane. Besides, the scene is so enjoyable that I don't care. There's a catchy song, a ton of parody slash mockery of children's programs that still has a surreal touch to it, a commercial for Beetlejuice's favorite cereal. To be fair, I've eaten cereals that tasted exactly like that. And of course, we have Art. Oh, I think he likes you. Is still a better gift than what I got for Valentine's. But Art decides that he's not being paid enough for this dream gig and goes back to doing what he does best. I told you, this is awesome. In a strange turn of events. Yes, I am aware of what I just said. Sienna finds that the dagger her father left her is in the dream and defends herself. At the very same moment her room catches fire, making her wonder whether or not this was just a dream. But wait! While most of the things on her dresser are ruined, the dagger is undamaged. I suggest you think about this later because Freddy Krueger's on his way to have a little talk about Art stealing his style. As for Art, he's building his workshop. Yes, this is the scene from the beginning of Terrifier right before that jump into the flashback. Though, how Vic's face looks slightly different is anyone's guess. Seriously, it looked fine before. She's doing the interview. We all remember how that turned out, right? And Art doesn't react well when she says that he's dead. I guess technically he is. He just refuses to stay that way. The next day, the siblings go to school and... oh, they found a new pet. Yeah, I seen that I don't think Uncle Tubby would like very much. They play with the opossums and trails until Jonathan drops his phone, alerting them of his presence. The smartest thing you've done up until now, kid. Maybe things are better with Sienna and her friends.
Yeah, that bitchy talk show has totally got her face torn off.
Is she dead?
I mean, if she's lucky.
Well, she did say she would rather die than look like Vic, so...
Her nose was like falling off of her face.
You okay? Sienna?
No, she's not okay. What's with people around her talking about disgusting things while she's trying to eat? She has a brief panic attack and her friends try to make her feel better. While Joe's characters aren't exactly the deepest, they still work well with each other. One of the criticisms the Terrifier received was about the characters. Even if it is a slasher movie and you don't need them to be complex, the ones in Terrifier were still kinda bland. This is something that Terrifier 2 tries to avoid. Of course, we still have characters that could be replaced by dolls filled with blood and entrails, but even not considering Sienna, we still get some that appear to have more of an identity than just being a walking future corpse. Sienna tells her friends about the fire, but can't bring herself to talk about her dream right now, since she knows when something sounds too crazy to be true. A feeling that Jonathan apparently does not share, as he tries to tell his mother what he saw when everyone thinks he brought the dead opossum to the school. Oh, How can they not believe that the supposedly dead murderer dressed up as a clown that you've been obsessed with and that demon-eyed little clown girl are the ones to blame? Just tell them it was a random strange, you moron. Jonathan is one of the characters that could be replaced by a cut-out cardboard. Besides him being there just to find the drawings that his father made about Art and his victims, there is his acting. I swear, it's like this kid will pull a muscle if he makes too much of a expression. The cardboard would at least give a better performance. Upset that part of her costume was ruined, Sienna needs to find a quick replacement. Her friend goes with her and stumbles across Art. And she's dead. Come on, we know that's what happens to anyone who so much as make eye contact with him. However, at the moment, Art's more interested in Sienna. Yeah, I have nothing to say. This is creepy on so many levels. Sienna decides to put an end to the shopping spree and tries to finish her purchase as quickly as possible.
I think I left my bag downstairs.
Well, that was nice-ish of him. His good-ish deed of the year done, Art starts to either just have a little fun or try to make everyone around him uncomfortable. Talk just you are basically the same thing on his list anyway.
I'm gonna go get you a big bag.
I don't
No,
need it.
it's fine.
This girl's giving signs of I'm uncomfortable in the brightest neon lights possible, and you're just walking away and leaving her with this guy? He probably knows what he's doing. He just hopes that he'll be okay if Art keeps focused on Sienna. Needless to say, that plan doesn't work. Nice shout out to All Hallows Eve though. Also, yes, that was kinda funny. While Art is having a merry murderous time, Jonathan tells Sienna about seeing Art at his school. He shows her their father's sketchbook, which as mentioned, has some drawings of Art, people he killed, and clippings from newspaper about his murder spree, including one about a little girl who looks just like the pale girl.
What if you're connected too? He created this character for you. He gave you that sword right before he died.
Are we ever going to explain this? No, we need to save it for the next movie. If you ask me, this is the worst flaw in the movie. While Terrifier didn't exactly have a plot beyond Art killing people, Terrifier 2 has more of an actual story going on. Great, but at the same time, there's a lack of resolution. You might wonder, well, was this girl his first victim then? Is the demon taking her form? Was she always a demon? Why does she keep bringing Art back? And it doesn't matter what you think, because you won't get any answers whatsoever. I think they're trying to hint that they will explain it in the next movie, but when you give your audience far more questions than answers, it ends up being more distracting and annoying than interesting. Are you going to tell this story or are you going to set up the stage for the next one? But it's Halloween and we need to respect the traditions. Ellie's having a relatively calmer day of giving out candies until Art decides that, hey, he might as well indulge his sweet tooth before killing her. And because Ellie apparently has the self-preservation instincts of a lemming, she decides that this creepy-looking, manic-eyed guy is totally harmless.
The whole creepy silent mime gimmick, it's very effective.
Do people's brain cells stop working during Halloween? I don't care if everyone's acting either like a creep or a jerk during this time of the year. If some guy keeps looking at me like that, I check in my house's security system.
No candy for grown-ups.
Hey, that's not a written rule. There's no age for free candy. I'm with you, Art. Kill her. Oh, what a nice prop. He returns at night for a glass of water and to kill Ellie. I'm pretty sure there's no way for me to show anything of this scene without Uncle Tubby getting on my case. Boy, is it gory. Sure, the effects are purposefully not trying to convince you that this is real, but even so, the actions themselves are brutal. You're either going to find hilarious in a dark comedy sort of way, or far too much to bear with, even for a movie about art. While Art is playing with the limits of the human body, Sienna's getting ready for a Halloween party. You're cool, Sienna. We should hang out sometime.
Well, it's revealing.
Oh, just be glad she's not wearing Leia's slave costume. We go back to Ellie's home for a moment. Wow, it's been so long. To see her mom returning home and finding that Ellie has a friend over. Damn it, kids, could you at least not get blood on the sheets? It's a pain to wash it off. Oh yeah, and Ellie's is still alive. Honestly, while the idea of coming home and finding a loved one being tortured is as scary as hell, the whole thing with Ellie is so over the top that it lost me. It's not scary, it's not funny. I mean, it's gross, but not to the point of keeping my attention. Frankly, I don't mind gore that much, but if you cross too many lines, it loses its power. Even people who enjoy this sort of thing can find this scene goes too far, and not in a good sense. Sienna and Brooke are having fun at the party and we're introduced to Brooke's boyfriend, Jeff. Yeah, as if we needed to learn his name. So it seems everyone's enjoying Halloween. The teens are dancing, Art's giving candy to the children, he probably laced Joe's with rat poison. Only Jonathan is grounded due to the mess of earlier. His mother tries talking to him, but he insists that he didn't do anything. I think that by now we've made it clear that she's not going to listen, kid.
You're such a bitch!
Ouch. After their argument, Barbara heads to the garage, and it seems someone doesn't quite agree with her parenting style. Things are not that great with Sienna either, as she seems to be a little too happy, we could say. Oh boy, did someone spike her drink or...
I put Molly in your drink.
Wait, seriously? Are you fucking kidding me?
I put a half a tablet in your drink and the other half in mine.
Sienna is not in the condition to have a proper reaction, which would be to kick Brooke in the teeth. So we go back to Jonathan. While roaming the streets, he hears a horn coming from a creepy van, so, being the smart boy he is, he goes to check it. I'm not even kidding. It's a pity we don't know anything about their father. I'd love to know who to blame for this kid's lack of brain cells. Speaking of parents, Barbara is trying to clean up the car. Was he in the car this entire time? Wow. That takes patience I didn't think he had. I don't know what's funnier. The image of Art just vandalized the car like a teenager, or him sitting there waiting for her to come to the garage and clean up the car window. Come on, what's taking that bitch so long? Should I honk the horn? Jonathan returns home and it turns out his new dad prepared a nice dinner. Meh, who knows? It might be better than anything his mother ever cooked. He does what every horror movie character does, meaning that he runs upstairs instead of trying to leave the house, but he remembers the dagger that Sienna has. Before he can reach it, however, Artie drugs him. He seems to like Sienna's dagger too. As for Sienna, she's been taken back home by Brooke and her boyfriend. You see, she saw the pale girl at the party and had a little panic attack. Probably because she knows she would have done a far better makeup and costume than that.
I'm fine.
Are you fucking kidding me? No, you're not fine.
Well, whose fucking fault is that? Oh, and as if the spiking wasn't enough on its own, it turns out Sienna had taken a Xanax some hours earlier.
I was trying to do something nice for you, Miss Morbid all the time.
Yeah, sure. Because spiking your friends' drinks if they haven't taken any medication is like totally cool, guys. Who wouldn't want that? I take it back what I said about Sienna's friends. Ellie is, well, was, pretty cool. But Brooke is a fucking bitch. Sienna gets a call from totally not a demon impersonating her brother, saying that he's in trouble and asking her to come to the old carnival. He's so scared, please.
Alright, calm down. I'll come get you, okay?
Well, you could do that. Or you could pretend that you never got that call at all. Just saying. But Sienna is far a better sibling than I am, so she convinces her friends to go to the old carnival, which, what did you know, it's the place where that little girl was killed. Once they arrive, Sienna goes to search for her brother. Okay, while those abandoned areas go hand in hand with horror stories, how come they always still have all those rides and stuff around? I never got that. Oh, don't worry, he's perfectly fine. He even made a new friend. Compared to some of the people we saw, maybe she'll be a better company. Oh, how cute! She's doing a Silent Hill monster cosplay. You know, maybe she just wants Sienna to give her some advice about such things. Oh, and if you're wondering about Brooke and Jeff, look, this is a horror movie and they are dumb things. Do the math. Art kills Jeff in a way that would make him and Eddie from Outlast Whistleblower get along quite well, and he goes after Brooke, but she manages to escape. Brooke runs off, taking off her high heel boots so she can run faster. Okay, not a bad idea. She ends up in the haunted house where Sienna is, and she's cornered by the maniac Claw. As for me, I'm wondering, how big is this attraction? Sienna finds Brooke's corpse as well as Art himself. Alright, it's showdown time and... no. Honestly, Art literally kicks her ass and leaves her unconscious. And to be fair, what did you expect? Being the protagonist doesn't grant you a special treatment in his movies. It does, however, allow for an typical mistake a villain makes card. In this case, Art doesn't make sure Sienna is dead before going after Jonathan. This allows Sienna to wake up, find a weapon, and give Art some payback.
You're hurt bad.
Wow, thanks, Captain Obvious. Seriously, what's the point of your existence?
They used me to get you here. They need you in this place for a reason.
Yeah, pity that this reason will never be explained. You know, the only thing I can give a pass here is Art not killing Jonathan while he was waiting for Sienna to arrive. Killing a person in front of another is not exactly out of character for him.
It's what Daddy saw. I think you're the only one who can stop him.
What the hell did you just say?
They try to hide, but that doesn't help them very much. Oh, sure, Art needs Sienna there for whatever reason. That's why he's focusing on Jonathan. But Sienna is determined to protect her brother no matter what. Told you she was cool. However, nothing she does keeps Art down. Even piercing his head is just a minor annoyance for him. Is it me, or is he coming back to life way faster than last time? We get a brief scene where he takes longer to come back to life, and the pale demon girl takes the form of the sibling's mother, making Sienna see how Art killed Barbara. But other than serving as a distraction for Art to take Jonathan to another room of the haunted house, there's not much of a point to that. Even if it's painful for Sienna, we don't have time to spend on her reaction. A problem with the so-called confrontation is that while it has cool moments, it goes on for way longer than necessary. Frankly, I was even getting bored while watching it. Yeah, blood and pain, suffering and screams. Look, I already saw that during the French Inquisition and my math classes, okay? Finally, Art stabs Sienna with a dagger. So, yeah, her father could see how Art would kill people and how Sienna was destined to face him, but he could not predict that. Gee, thanks, Dad. Art throws her through, I don't know, a portal to hell or whatever. And Sienna wakes in a water-tortured cell in the set of her dream. I'm not questioning this, neither should you. However, while Art is having Jonathan for dinner, Art, take this out of your mouth, you don't know where he has been. This happens.
What the hell was that?
After being resurrected by the dagger, Sienna frees herself and is ready to accept her destiny. Or more likely, she's just done with this whole thing and wants to go home. Damn, girl! If that doesn't earn her a seat at the table of the cool final girls from horror movies, I don't know what does. The creepy little Riding Hood looks at Art's corpse, picks up his head, and gives the siblings a creepy look before walking away. Guess it's past her bedtime. And that was Terrifier 2. No, of course not. We have a little post-credits or middle credits scene. You see, Victoria's back to the asylum. Gee, I wonder why. And it turns out she's not feeling so good. Are there no security cameras in her room? Considering what she's in for, I would say that just might be a good idea.
I've been tending to our celebrity patient all day.
What's she like?
Tame. Pretty cooperative, actually.
You're probably going to die in the sequel, you do know that, right? Speaking of Vicky, she's tame alright. She's just writing things on the wall with her own blood before giving birth to Art's living head. Now that's the kind of ending we came to expect from this franchise. While Terrifier 2 is an improvement from the last movie, it's not without flaws. The story is interesting and it kept me engaged, but the main problem, as I said, is that it raises far more questions than it answers. While there are things that you can leave unexplained in a story, there are some that you can't. For example, in All Hallows Eve, we didn't need the answers. It was scarier to not know where the tape came from or who/what Art really was. Even in the second movie, we could buy Art come back to life with no explanation because, well, slashers never die. And there were hints that he was a supernatural entity. This was within what we could expect on some level. But many things that Terrifier 2 hints at, while giving no payoff, end up harming the movie. It's one thing to give the audience a subtle foreshadowing that will be explained in the next installments of your series, but this isn't the same. By actively bringing up things that seem essential to the story now, you're promising the audience a resolution, and by not explaining, you're letting them down. Did the father have a connection with Art or some other entity that is against him? After all, there has to be a reason why he was studying art and why he created that particular character for Sienna. Where did the dagger come from? Is Sienna destined to be the one who will kill Art for good, or could she only do it because she had the dagger? Even if you try to ignore all those questions, the lack of payoff it still ends up making the story feel weaker than it could have been, almost incomplete. Now, that doesn't mean the movie doesn't have good points to make up for it. As I said, most of the characters are well written and well acted. Art is still amazing in his cruelty, and Sienna is one hell of an addition to the list of final girls in horror movies. While it's cool to see the final girl or boy being just a normal person facing a threat, it's interesting to see someone who turns out to have some sort of supernatural power of their own, but only realize it when they have to face the slasher. Whether it's something that she always had or some other entity backing her up like the demon is backing Art, Sienna is still clearly at a disadvantage, so you still worry about her. She doesn't seem to be sure of what's happening to her, which adds to her character arc. It certainly feels more realistic than having her suddenly realize that she's Supergirl and being able to kick Art's ass with barely no effort or wounds whatsoever. Terrifier 2 is not for everyone, but if you can ignore the flaws, you like Art, and you don't mind seeing some insides becoming outsides, this might be a fun movie to watch. And that's it for today's session. Thanks so much for joining me. See you the next time, everyone. Stay safe.